Marvel, please, are you trying to make me go insane right now? Not that I'm complaining, please keep it up and give me all the trailers and news you can. They just finished up the D23 Brazil panel, I was not expecting much. With all the different events they've been attending recently, I didn't think we'd get much here. I figured the cast would just show up to promote things and they'd show some exclusive clips and leave it at that, but little did I know that they planned on dropping a 4-minute special look from Thunderbolts and the official Captain America Brave New World trailer, along with all the other interesting tidbits from throughout the day, and the What If Season 3 trailer that dropped the other day. It's an overwhelming amount of exciting things to talk about, and that's exactly what we're gonna do right now. But I guess you already knew about that, clicking on the title and seeing the thumbnail. So you know what, let's not waste any more time and just jump right into all the news. Alright, let's kick things off with a movie that is near and dear to my heart, that being Captain America Brave New World. I'll take any opportunity I can to mention that Captain America is my all-time favorite superhero, really my favorite character in general, so it's safe to say I've been really looking forward to this film. Now, I know there's been a lot of stuff behind the scenes with rewrites and reshoots to try and get this movie into shape, but I truly do believe deep down that all those changes are being made to improve the film and give us a movie that'll do Sam's character justice, which is what I care about at the end of the day. As long as this movie is good, I do not care what they had to do to get there. This character is really special to me, so I'm just hopeful that he's in good hands here, and I do think he will be. But first of all, before we even get into the trailer, I love the official poster that they released at the same time, even if they did just put Helvetica on the logo for some reason. I think the actual focus of the poster is gorgeous. I love the shot of Sam standing defiant against Red Hulk, punching the shield with his sparks flying from the heat radiating off his skin. I think it's such a cool shot and a great simple poster that shows you don't need to have all these floating heads around. I especially love learning that it is a recreation of Captain America number 230's cover, which I think is really cool. Marvel likes to do this every so often, where they'll recreate these iconic comic book covers for movie posters, and I think they should do that a lot more often. It's a great way to pay homage to the artists and the writers who came before and made these characters what they are, and I think they really need to be doing it more often, especially if they actually go and pay the people that they're taking inspiration from. I think that'd be really helpful for them, and you know, you're a billion-dollar company. I think you can afford it. But the trailer itself absolutely blew me away. I love the first trailer for this movie. I think it looked great. But here, they knocked it out of the park. The editing in this trailer is fantastic. I love the way they edit it with all the panels and lines, trying to really make it feel like that political thriller vibe they're going for, and I think they're absolutely pulling it off. The quick, frantic editing of the trailer adds a lot of tension to the scene as things are rapidly coming in and out of frame, and it lines things up for some really cool creative shots. It obviously invokes the styles of a comic book with the panel format. I don't think it's a really cool way to edit this trailer, and because of the way it's shot tonally, it comes off as a really serious vibe, and I think it just shows that they put a lot of effort into making this movie look as good as possible, which I love to see. More than the teaser though, this trailer really shows how strong the political and thriller vibes are in the film, because I think that it's important to show people that while there may be a Red Hulk at the end of the movie, the actual main narrative of the film is still going to be really grounded and set in this reality where the president's life is in danger and there's this political conspiracy taking over, as you see Isaiah being forced to try and assassinate the president, which definitely isn't timely at all, which then sends Sam and Joaquin on this journey to try and unravel this mystery and figure out what's going on with the president and how the leader's involved in this, which I think is going to be really exciting. I especially love the fact that they're still hiding the leader in the marketing. I hope they can manage to hold off until the actual movie itself, because I think it's cool to have him as this shadowy figure in the background for now and not spoil what his big dumb green head design is going to look like. And I really like the fact that I know little to nothing about the actual plot of this movie. Obviously, we know that there's going to be the leader causing some conspiracy that gets the president involved, and then Sam has to go stop them. Tiamat and Adamantium are going to play a big role in it, but I think that it's really good that we don't know the overarching narrative at this point. We just know the elements in the film, but not what is going to bring them together and connect them. And it's good to see them have that kind of restraint with this movie, because you don't want to spoil all that in the trailer, and I think they did a good job of giving you just enough information to go crazy theorizing like I'm about to do, while also holding back on these big reveals in the overall narrative of the film. And when you're doing a political thriller like this, you need to reserve as much information as possible for the actual movie to make those reveals hit as hard as possible. And if we're talking about things that hit hard, Sam is back in his white Captain America costume, which has me going crazy. I love this suit so much. I did a suit ranking video a while back, and this is my favorite live action costume, and it will never change. I think it is a flawless suit, from the bright, vibrant colors to now including this helmet, which I think is a really cool addition. Now Sam is going to be able to fly at Mach speeds and break the sound barrier whenever he wants, which I think is a really huge upgrade for him. No longer restricted by just being a guy. He has this vibranium weave armor that's going to let him go at supersonic speeds, and also just looks really cool. If they make a replica of that helmet, I'm going to be the first person to buy it. I need that on my shelf immediately. I need that on my head immediately. I'm never taking that off. There's been a lot of really annoying discourse surrounding Sam getting this helmet because of this untrue rumor spread by a bigot that they're only doing it so they can cover up a black man's face in the marketing, which is obviously not true. Sam's face is all over this movie, but they're literally only including this helmet so he can get an upgrade in his fighting abilities and flying abilities so that he can fly at speeds that would melt his skin off otherwise. And I feel like it's just such a natural progression for his character and power set. And also, it just looks really cool. As much as I was worried that they would do nanotech, I think they can get away with it here just because it is a Wakandan suit, so narratively it makes sense. It's not like the Love and Thunder nanotech helmets that just kind of look weird. In the context of the universe, it should be nanotech, and I get why they would do that. So they'll get a pass for doing another nanotech helmet, but just cool it on the future, alright guys? Please, we don't need everything to be nanotech. I do like his new suit in the movie a lot. I think it's really clean, but it does feel derivative of Steve's costume, and unless there's a narrative reason for why he's using a costume that looks exactly like something Steve Rogers would wear, I don't really see the point of him having it, even if it does look good, especially because you're replacing the white suit, but I'm not going to complain too much. We still don't know why he's using it. It's just really a way for them to sell toys or introducing new costumes, so I get it, but I would like to see that white suit stay by the end of the movie because it is way too gorgeous to ever lose. What is most interesting to me about this trailer, though, is something that was in the previous trailer as well, but now we get another look at it here, and it's this one funeral scene they keep showing. It's just really interesting to me that they keep teasing someone's going to die in this movie, and obviously it's not Sam. We see him there. He's Captain America. He's not going to die. That's a silly suggestion. Why would you even suggest that? I'm leaning the most towards it being President Ross still. I feel like the fact that Liv Tyler is coming back as Betty Ross, who might be in this shot right here, it's hard to tell from behind, but going off of set photos, I think that's her. It just makes sense that they would have President Ross die because it's Harrison Ford, and there's no way they're going to get him back for another movie. Otherwise, maybe it's Isaiah, but that would be such a waste of Isaiah's character to give him such a tragic ending. With a character who suffered so much, he needs to have a more hopeful outcome. Killing him off would be a mistake. So I think it's a lock to be President Ross, but it's really hard to say right now. I just think it's interesting that they keep highlighting it so much in all the marketing. And with it happening in the Cherry Blossom environment, it makes me wonder if the Red Hulk fight is going to happen after this, because if then, I don't know who it could be. Maybe it's Steve Rogers and they're finally going to acknowledge that he isn't actually on the moon? I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm really interested to see who it is, because I feel like they're heavily teasing that someone's going to die in this movie, and I have no idea who it could be. But here's the thing I really can't seem to figure out. Who is Sam talking to in this one shot? Because he's in some kind of like government office or hospital, and he's talking to someone conveniently off screen, which makes me wonder, who the hell is he talking to? I feel like that's going to be a big reveal in the movie, or maybe I'm just going insane over one single shot that doesn't mean anything. It's just Joaquin off screen for some reason. But for the fun of it, let's just say it's going to be a big character he's talking to, and I feel like the only two options are Bucky and Steve. And I feel like Bucky is a much more realistic option because Sebastian Stan is still in the Marvel system. He was shooting Thunderbolts at the same time they were shooting Brave New World reshoots. It was easy for him to get on stage for one day and just shoot this cameo with Sam and kind of give him a pep talk. But part of me does think it could be Steve, and I don't know how to feel about that because Steve Rogers is my definitive favorite character of all time. And I don't know if I want him in this movie because I don't want him to overshadow Sam. For the general public, that would be what they want to see most, Steve Rogers again, rather than Sam Wilson's story and him standing independently. But at the same time, narratively and thematically, I think you have a really powerful moment where Sam visits Steve in this retirement home or something, and he gets advice that he needs, or just some kind of closure on Steve's character, because I do think this movie will give us some of that, whether it be him in this scene here or the funeral scene I mentioned earlier. They kind of have to acknowledge that, but I hope they do it in a way that doesn't overshadow Sam at all, because this is his movie, and he needs to be the focal point of it, and I don't want people only talking about old man Steve Rogers for the future. If I were to bet money on it, though, I think it's going to be Bucky making a brief cameo just to kind of catch up with Sam at one point and give him advice as they're on this crossroads, and then he can go do Thunderbolt stuff. Especially because Bucky is going to be a congressman, and maybe he's working under Ross, and Sam goes to him for advice and trying to deal with Ross or something. I don't know. I'm spitballing here. But I do think that I'm not overanalyzing this one shot, and there genuinely is something there, because I feel like he has to be talking to someone important. Another quick thing in this trailer is that they're arresting Sam. That's not right. Free my man. He did nothing wrong. Why does President Ross like arresting Sam so much? This is the second time he's arrested him. First in Civil War, now here. You're looking suspicious, Ross. I know what you are. But my biggest takeaway from this trailer is just how good the action looks. It's hard nowadays to do unique action in a superhero movie, but with Sam and his wings, it gives them an opportunity to do something new and interesting as he flies through jet planes and give us some Top Gun-esque dogfight action with that superhero spin on it. I think that'd be really cool, and it looks to be the direction they're going with Sam as a character, which is great. I love to see the evolution of Sam in the MCU as he's gone from someone with wings and guns to more wings and guns to now actually getting his own unique fighting style that you're not going to see anywhere else in the MCU. It's going to make him stand out so much and give us some action that you can only see in a Captain America movie like this. Like, come on. You can't tell me the shot of him throwing this shield in midair to take out missiles doesn't go crazy hard, or him jumping and cutting that car in half. It's so cool cool, and I think that it's gonna go a long way in showing people that he doesn't need the super soldier serum, okay? I'm sick of hearing that. I don't want to hear that ever again. He never will need the serum. That's like saying Batman should kill. It is such a fundamental part of Sam's character to not have the serum. And I get some people think that you can't be Captain America unless you have the serum. No! All you need to be Captain America is to be a good man, and Sam Wilson is a good man. His character is defined by the fact that he's an everyman. He knows the struggles of the common man. He doesn't have powers, he doesn't have abilities, but he has the drive to do good, and he has this technology that lets him do that and act as this symbol for the nation. He's a realistic hero for people to look up to. You don't need drugs in a bottle to make you a hero. It is infinitely more hopeful for Sam as a character to step up as someone who doesn't have powers and fights a raging Hulk, standing his ground. I think that's the coolest thing ever, and would be so much less interesting if he was just another super soldier in the MCU. We have enough of them. He would just be more similar to Steve that way. Let Sam be his own character and let him be different by being someone without powers. Stop with the power scaling, okay? Please. I don't need to hear for the 50,000th time, oh, how is Sam gonna beat the Hulk? The Red Hulk has a very exploitable weakness, alright? All you have to do is make him angrier. The hotter he gets, the easier it is to beat him. He can overheat and that's it. And Sam can literally annoy this man to death. It's such an easy way for him to beat him and exploit that weakness. All he has to do is survive. And I think that is what makes Captain America so interesting, what makes Sam so perfect to pick up this mantle. He can literally do this all day. All he has to do is keep fighting, get the job done. And I think that is such a powerful and interesting message to send. And giving him the super soldier serum would erase that completely. Oh god. I clearly needed to get that off my chest and out of my system. I love this character, and I love everything he represents, and I think he's such a cool, hopeful icon, and I don't want people to try and turn him into something he isn't just to fit their power scaling agendas. As a whole, though, this trailer I thought was incredible. I love the vibes they're going for. Some of the cinematography looks great. I will say that the effects are a little rough around the edges, but there's still 3 months to go for them to fix things. And if you compare this trailer to the last one they released, they've already made some really big improvements on the model for Sam as he's flying. So I have no doubt that they're going to put those 3 months to good use. The reality of it all is that they have to start the marketing now, where they need to get eyes on it and let people know that this drops in February. So I get it, but I have faith that they're going to take the time and let the effects cook more to the point where it doesn't look as unfinished as it does here. With this movie, my big concern isn't the fact that it's the CGI, because they have more than enough time to fix that. It's the story itself, and with all the reshoots and rewrites, I'm hopeful that they did it for a good reason. I really want this movie to deliver, and I have high expectations for it as a big fan of this character, and I trust they know what they're doing, because Falcon and Winter Soldier I thought was great. Going off of this trailer and the previous one, I don't think we're going to have anything to worry about. It seems like they understand Sam Wilson's character, and they're going to give us a really powerful political thriller that highlights what makes him special, and I think it's coming out at a crazy time with him fighting an evil red president, but that's a story for another day. So let me just round this up by saying that I love Captain America as a character, and I'm really hopeful that this movie delivers on all my expectations and does Sam right, because he's a character I care a lot about and deserves only the best. Okay, quickly moving on from that before anyone realizes what I said, let's talk about Thunderbolts asterisks. Asterisk. I'm not gonna call it Thunderbolts asterisk. This isn't a bit. I'm genuinely having trouble recording this and saying it. Let's talk about Thunderbolts Asterisk, a movie that I think is going to blow everybody away. I've been on the Thunderbolts hype train since day one. Since they announced this cast, since we saw that concept art, I've been there. It's been me. People have been talking trash about this movie, not seeing the vision, eating their words now that they see how good this movie looks, because this trailer was incredible. It caught me so off guard because I was not expecting them to drop it so soon. This film drops 6 months from now, and Marvel doesn't like to cross-promote their movies, so I was not expecting them to just casually drop 4 minutes of Thunderbolts footage. But hey, I'm not gonna complain. I love this stuff. It's a great surprise to see a really in-depth look at this movie and these characters. I think that there's a very good chance that coming out of the MCU multiverse saga, the best films are gonna be No Way Home, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Fantastic Four, and Thunderbolts. I think this movie is gonna blow people away and surprise the hell out of everybody. I know that's a crazy thing to say right now, only seeing 2 trailers, but you just gotta hear me out because the creative team behind it is stacked. Talent on screen is incredible. I love the tone of the movie with the more depressed characters. They're exploring what it means to be purposeless in a world like this and doing a real character study on these outcasts in the MCU. And if you have a problem with the team lineup, you have 2 options. 1, you can watch the video I made a few months back defending this team and why I think they're the perfect lineup for the MCU's Thunderbolts. And then 2, if you disagree, you can just go to hell. I don't mean that. That was mean. I'm sorry. but I really love this team lineup, and I think that the fact that they all come together and bond over their past traumas and the way they were mistreated in life and just kind of thrown aside after they lost their purpose, I think that's going to be such an emotionally resonant concept. And I get they have similar powers to each other, but Yelena literally says in the trailer, "So do we all just punch and shoot?" It's obviously going to be a common theme of the movie to introduce these characters as disposable soldiers who Val sends in just to die via the hands of the Century. And I think that people get hung up on comic accuracy a lot of the time, that they get distracted from the fact that they're telling a really emotional and complex story about complicated characters, and you can't lose sight of that. As long as they get the spirit of the team right, which they absolutely did, again, watch that video. And this trailer to me screams that they have an inspired vision here, and I am going to be there day one. Okay, I got another rant out of my system. Let me talk about what's actually in the trailer here, and the fact that Bucky is such a prominent role in this movie, which I think is great. A lot of people had fears that Bucky wasn't going to be in this movie a lot, so I think it's nice to kind of reassure them that Bucky's going to be a very prominent part of the film, which I think is great. I know he's not with the team initially because he wasn't sent to die because he's a congressman now, but I think it'll be cool that he's sent in to stop the Thunderbolts and then joins their mission when he sees what they're going through. As a big Captain America enjoyer, Bucky's a big part of my life, so it's cool to see this character in the spotlight. I'm reminding people what makes this character so interesting, especially coming out of Falcon and the Winter Soldier when he's more directionless than ever. I think it'll be really interesting to see how he interacts with people that are like him for once. Other people who were used as weapons or controlled by their country, and I think that it's going to be a really powerful experience for him to bond and heal through them. And also, it's just cool to see Bucky continuing to save civilians. That was a big thing for him at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, as he finally got thanked for helping these people, and now to see him continue doing that, in the face of unbeatable adversary, he's still going out of his way to help people. I think it just shows how he's come so far as a character from someone who's been a brainwashed assassin to now going out of his way to help as many people as he can. And I think it's a great character arc to see for Bucky. But what's also great to see is finally official confirmation that was Val indeed who purchased Avengers Tower. Obviously, she didn't say the words out loud, but like, come on. This building has good optics, all the history here. We know what you're talking about. It's Avengers Tower, and I know a lot of people are going to be soured on that idea. I myself was heavily pushing for it to be the Baxter Building or the new Fisk Tower, but the fact that Kevin Feige said in an interview that they've had this planned since Homecoming, they wanted it to be Val and set up Thunderbolts, has me really interested, because if he's not just lying out of his ass, which would be a power move, the fact that they've had this planned for years, they have a vision they're seeing through to the end, and they aren't changing things last minute. And I do like the idea that Val is trying to recreate the Avengers on her own and control the public image of superheroes through the Century. So obviously she's going to buy Avengers Tower to try and recreate that on her own without actually having to do the work. And I think that's a really interesting idea. Thematically speaking, I will be the first to admit that it works so much better than the Baxter Building just buying it for the sake of it. It's much more compelling to have Val try and recreate the Avengers' success by playing the hits and buying their tower and having the Century operate out of it as it becomes the Watchtower for him. And I think that is what is most important here. You have to let them tell this story rather than complain that they didn't do the thing you specifically wanted. I keep going off into tangents, I'm sorry. I just have a lot to say about this movie and the trailer in general. So to get back to the trailer, one thing I did really like is how they did these little character profiles to reintroduce them to the audience, which I think is great, because obviously I'm a nerd. I know who Ghost is. I know who Taskmaster is. A lot of people aren't going to remember Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and if they don't, they're cowards, because she's one of the best characters in the MCU, and I'm going to die on that hill. Ava Starr has done nothing wrong, and I'm so excited to see her back in this movie. It's my goal to spread as much Ghost propaganda as possible. I've loved this character for the last 6 years, just waiting for the day we finally get to see her again. So to see her have such a prominent role in Thunderbolts is incredible, and I feel like they're doing that specifically for me, especially having her make fun of Walker. Marvel, there's no way you didn't do that for me. There is nobody on this planet who loves both Ghost and Captain America more than me, so to have her make fun of my enemy, John Walker, is so satisfying to hear, and I really appreciate that. It's just so rewarding as a Ghost fan to see her have such a prominent role in this movie, as they're finally highlighting how cool her powers are with that amazing glitch effect and the great action scenes you can do with her, or the fact that they're gonna have a sequence where she saves everybody in the vault. If they handle this correctly, this could be like the Quicksilver scene in X-Men Apocalypse, but better. Imagine a scene where things are starting to fall apart and explode, and you have Ghost trying in this race against time to get them out of there. I think that would be such a cool idea, and it looks like they're doing just that, which I'm so excited for. I'm just glad to see Ghost in the spotlight. I'm telling you, she's gonna be the standout of this movie. People are gonna come out of this film and be Ghost fans, and I'm gonna be there waiting for them to join the bandwagon, because I need as many Ghost fans as possible. I will manifest a Ghost cinematic universe universe if I have to. Also, I know how all over the place I'm being right now, but I'm just really excited to talk about this stuff. I really love that Bob is being treated as comedic relief in these trailers, because the reveal that he's the most mentally ill of them all as the Sentry is gonna hit like crack in the 80s. Just this silly guy called Bob is actually the most powerful character in the Marvel Universe, and insane and evil. I think that's gonna be a great reveal, and I'm so excited to see how they handle him, because the Sentry will make or break this movie, I think, for a lot of people, and I have faith they're gonna do him right. I love what we've seen so far with his logo and all the designs they're teasing, as he seems to be a character who Val is trying to control and make the government's puppet, and I think it's gonna be a really interesting take on this character. I know they're not gonna be able to, because you have to sell this movie somehow, but if they're able to hide the Sentry in all the marketing, I will buy 12 tickets to this movie on opening night. I will see this movie 33 times if they don't show the Sentry. I need more surprises in these movies. I hate scooper culture so much, and I am dying for them to keep that reveal for the movie rather than in the trailer, because one, I think it'll be a lot more effective if we don't know it when it's coming, and for some people going in to watch the movie, they don't even know that it is happening. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. I don't think they will. I think that the official trailer is going to show him, but I'm praying that they somehow manage to pull this off and don't show him at all, because I feel like he's going to cause some damage in this movie, and it's going to be insane to see. If you look at this trailer, I don't think that Taskmaster is surviving this movie anymore, which is sad because I'm not the biggest MCU Taskmaster fan, but I see the potential in this character, and I will absolutely go to defend it. It really seems like Taskmaster is going to be the one to die to show how powerful the Sentry is in this film, which is a shame. I understand why they're doing it, because you do need to set the stakes, so they chose the person who's the most controversial character in the MCU, but I really want to see more of that Taskmaster in her full glory now that she actually can let that personality show, because the fact that we only see her in the vault scene and then confronting Val, it's very concerning to me. I don't think there's any way she walks out of this movie unscathed. I think that she's gonna die, and they're gonna bring in the Tony Masters version down the line. And maybe it works, but I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of potential for this character, and I would hope they don't kill her off immediately. As the trailer then ends with them finally getting the Thunderbolts name and Bucky being the hater of the year once again. Obviously, they're not going to get the original Thunderbolts name because Zemo isn't on the team, and tonally it feels wrong for them to be named after a poem in this version, because yes, they are named after a poem. They're not named after General Ross. Get that idea out of here immediately, please. You've been lied to online. I know, you'd think it makes sense because Thunderbolt Ross, the team Thunderbolts, but no, there's no correlation between him and the creation of the team, and I'm just interested to see how they do get the name for this team. But yeah, I think Thunderbolts is gonna be fantastic. This movie continues to look better with every new look, with every new trailer, with every new piece of information about it. It seems to be all I could ever want out of this project and more. It's an obviously inspired vision by Marvel Studios as they're doing their own unique take on the team while still keeping the themes of the group alive. This project stands out a lot to me as something really unique and interesting as they're taking these characters in bold new directions and exploring serious themes like lacking purpose and establishing them as what's sure to be my new favorite found family in the MCU. Listen, you're allowed to have your own opinions and all that, but I feel like you have to be insane to not be excited for Thunderbolts after a trailer like this, highlighting all the unique action, interesting character dynamics, and fascinating mysteries they're gonna have in this film. It's shaping up to be one of the best MCU projects from all these trailers alone, and I think that if they deliver on those expectations, we could be in for an all-timer here. I trust everybody involved with the film, and I could not be more excited for Thunderbolts than I am right now, until they probably release the next trailer, and I'm even more excited, because that's what it seems like they're doing the whole time, and I love it. Hi, hello, I've been editing this video so long that it's been a few days now. How's it going? How much has the world changed since then? Anyways, Marvel just dropped the trailer for What If Season 3, and I needed to get this in the video because I have so much to say about this show right now. That trailer blew me away. I've always been a What If defender. I thought the first season was pretty good, and then I thought the second season was great. And now with the show dropping almost a month from now, Marvel finally released the trailer for What If Season 3, and they're pulling out some insane ideas and showing why this show is so interesting. It makes me even more upset that this is going to be the final season of the show, because they really just started to scratch the surface with these new characters and stories that were introduced in phases 4 and 5, and now after this it's all over. Only 8 more episodes to go until it's gone forever. And yeah, that's a total bummer. I don't understand why they're doing it. Maybe the viewership is too low, and if so, I get it, but also, I don't care. I want to see more of this. This show is giving us so many interesting and creative concepts that I feel like it'd be such a mistake to cut it so early, but what's done is done. I'd rather focus on what we can look forward to in this third season, because there is so much to talk about. I don't even know where to start. Every single shot of this trailer was another gut punch of the most insane thing I could possibly imagine just casually happening. I think this season is going to blow the other two out of the water. The concepts they are teasing here look incredible. I love the fact that I cannot predict a single episode title here. I think for a lot of people, the big thing coming out of this trailer is the fact that they're introducing Storm into the MCU like this. Obviously, this is in a different universe, and it's a multiversal variant of Storm who is worthy of Mjolnir, which is crazy that we're seeing that. But I think it's going to be so cool to see her interact with different Marvel characters. It seems like she's going to be with Cohorty and Captain Carter in this episode, but I do think it'd be cool if we got to see her interact with more mainline Marvel characters and they can tease us with these Avengers and X-Men crossovers that we can expect in the years coming. But I just think it's crazy that we are living in a timeline where Storm is just casually interacting with Marvel characters now. A few years ago, that would have been an impossibility, but the fact that it's realistic and we see her as the goddess of thunder is crazy to me. I cannot wait to see that episode, especially with the fact that they got her voice actress back from X-Men 97. That booming, powerful voice that commands a room. She was born to play this character, and I'm really glad that they brought her over here because she just feels right at home. But for me, the most important thing coming out of this trailer is no surprise to longtime viewers, that being Captain America and Moon Knight interacting with each other, flying mech suits and creating this big Voltron armor. I cannot believe this is real life. I'm so happy that we're finally getting Captain America back. I know we have Brave New World to look forward to next year, but the fact that we get to see this little tease of him leading the Avengers, and they're all in mech suits and Moon Knight's there, like, that is my dream come true. What If is the greatest show of all time for that alone. It's been so long since we've heard anything on the Moon Knight front. Other characters have come and gone with rumors of their future here and there, but Moon Knight has been in his own little corner of the Marvel Universe. And the fact that I'm now seeing him, this character I adore, interacting with other Marvel heroes is a dream come true. I am so beyond excited. Words will not do justice how interested I am in this project just for that alone. Everything else looks great, but this one thing is the big selling point for me because my two favorite characters are not only going to be back after years of waiting, they're going to be in the same show and in the same episode and talking to each other. I don't know, I'm really happy about this. It's been so long since we've seen them, and it's going to be amazing to see them in this new context. Along with characters like Monica Rambeau is in there. It'll be cool to see her together with Sam as two Louisiana-born heroes. I hope they bring that up and we get to see more of them in the MCU properly, but this will be a great little first look at that dynamic. And hearing Sam say Avenger Assemble, while it's not quite the Avengers Assemble tagline we're used to, the fact that he says Avenger Assemble and then they all form together in this big giant mech suit, come on, it does not get much better than that. That is peak. That is something you can only get in a show like What If. I'm over the moon about this, huh? Bad pun, but I'm sorry. I make bad puns when I'm excited. This is the biggest win ever for me specifically. And as if that wasn't enough, I'm convinced that Marvel is catering directly to me here because it's one brief shot, but Mysterio is in this show? I have been dying to see Mysterio again. He is my favorite villain of all time. And the fact that they're bringing him back in some capacity is mind-blowing to me. I am so happy. His future in the MCU is a little uncertain with him maybe being dead and all that fun stuff. So the fact that they managed to squeeze him into this show before it's over is amazing for me. I wonder if they're doing a story like What If Mysterio won? Because one of the biggest things about his plan in Far From Home is that if he were to win, what happens next? How does he keep up the charade when he's interacting with other heroes? And I think that if you're gonna bring him back, you might as well do a story like that. I know the rights with Spider-Man are a little up in the air because of how Sony like to keep him to themselves, so maybe he's not gonna appear in this, but maybe that episode opens with him killing Spider-Man, and then he tries to become the biggest hero in the world, and we see how that spirals into the Avengers stopping him. And he does become an Avengers level threat. I think that'd be so cool and just shows the infinite possibilities of this show that we could never see in live action at all, especially with where the MCU is at right now. But on top of all my favorite characters returning, Marvel is bringing back another one of my favorites in Kate Bishop, and also she's gonna be a cowgirl. That's significantly gonna alter my brain chemistry. I apologize for the person I'm gonna be when this show releases, because I'm gonna lose my mind seeing that. And in this really cool context where she's in the Wild West fighting alongside Shang-Chi, two characters I only thought I'd ever see interact in an Avengers movie, and now we're gonna get to see them in the Wild West fighting alongside each other. It's such a mismatch idea, and I think what makes the What If show so perfect for bringing these characters together in new scenarios and environments and stories you would have never seen otherwise. So I'm very much so looking forward to seeing Cowgirl Kate Bishop. I'm gonna be paying very close attention to that episode because that is just incredible. But wait, it keeps getting better. The Eternals are coming back here. That's right, baby. Finally, after so many years, the Eternals have a future in the MCU. I am on the front lines defending Eternals. I am probably the biggest Eternals fan in the world. It is top 10 MCU for me easily. So it really bummed me out when it was reported that Marvel isn't going to be moving forward with an Eternals sequel. And with time running out on What If, I was worried we wouldn't get to see the Eternals in this show. But nope, they managed to get him in here with an episode that seems to be surrounded entirely around them. But I think what's really interesting about this episode is the fact that it's an Agatha crossover, which is wild to me. They took characters who should never meet and they put them together, and it looks like they're going to turn Agatha into a Celestial in this, which is a sentence I never thought I would say, but I am here for it. I think that's such a bonkers idea. The more absurd and out there you go with the show, the better. I want them to take full advantage of the animated medium and the fact that this doesn't take place in the MCU to tell stories that would completely destroy the continuity otherwise. We would not be able to see this in any other context than inside this show, and I think we're all going to be better off for it because it is such a bizarre idea to have the Eternals team up with Agatha to stop Arishem. I don't even know what the scenario is going to be there. Maybe the emergence happened in like the 1700s or something and they go to Agatha for help because she's around. I have no clue and I could not be happier about it. Another episode seems to be surrounding the character of Dormammu. Amazing inclusion. Outside of his brief appearance in Doctor Strange, Dormammu has been severely underutilized in the MCU, so I'm glad to see him come back in this big way, because it looks like we're going to have a team up with characters like Wong, Valkyrie, Okoye, all working together to stop Dormammu, which has me wondering what the context is here. Maybe he managed to beat Doctor Strange at the end of that first movie? That'd be a cool idea. We can see the ramifications of him in the Dark Dimension bleeding into our universe. Or I think what is even more likely is the idea that this takes place in the timeline created at the end of Season 2 where Doctor Strange doesn't exist. Strange Supreme sacrificed himself to let Christine live, and I honestly think that Dormammu is going to invade that timeline, and since there's no Sorcerer Supreme to protect them, we're going to see the ramifications of that, as Wong steps up and builds this team to take him down. I think that's the only episode I have an actual understanding of what is going on for. I do think it's very funny though that What If is resolving plotlines in different universes before the MCU could even get around to it, like with the inclusion of White Vision in this show. Okay, surely there has to be a better name for him. I cannot keep calling him White Vision. There's got to be some bad optics there. He seems to be battling Ironheart in this episode, which is a really interesting concept. I have no clue where that's going to go, but I just think it's interesting that we're going to get the White Vision story paid off here. Maybe this is going to be some kind of WandaVision what-if scenario where he never gets his memories back and continues to be this heartless android working for the government. So we'll have to see where that goes, but it is just very funny to me that this show is utilizing him before the MCU. And one last thing I want to point out from this trailer is a blink and you'll miss it appearance from the next original character this series is creating, that being someone named Birdie. After the success of the Cohorty episode, which is I think the best episode of this entire show, but I'm just really looking forward to this show using its creative license well to make new characters and see how they interact in this world. Best of all though, she's being voiced by Natasha Lyonne, which is a huge get. I guess she had some downtime on the Fantastic Four set, so they had to voice this character, and I just think it's a really cool thing to see. I love original stories, and I think this is the show to do them and try these new characters and ideas out, and maybe if she's as popular as Cohorty did, we could see her make her way into the MCU one day. I'm probably the most excited person on the planet for this trailer. A lot of people are just gonna look over this, but for me, this show is bringing back all my favorite characters and letting them interact with each other, along with putting them in these insane scenarios, so I'm gonna be there day one. This show is doing the Advent Calendar release model again, where it's one episode every day for a week straight, and I love that. As someone who doesn't have a job besides this, I could just wake up every day and watch a new episode of What If. So even if it's only me watching, I'm gonna be there the moment these episodes drop, and I'm gonna be talking about it all, so stay tuned for that. Captain America, Moon Knight, Kate Bishop, Mysterio, the Eternals, I am convinced that they made this show specifically for me. I owe them my life. This is going to make me so happy, and I cannot wait to see how they handle these characters in the show, even if it is a big bummer that this is the final season. Looking back at the last month, the MCU has genuinely never been in better position than right now. Agatha All Along was a roaring success. They released a sizzle reel highlighting how stacked their 2025 television slate is, and we got 3 trailers for some of the next big projects. I'm feeling more optimistic than ever. It really seems like they addressed all their problems and they're trying to put their best foot forward with a wide variety of interesting shows and movies next year. There's genuinely never been a better time to be a Marvel fan. Now I need them to just drop the Born Again trailer already. Please, I will do anything for it. The show releases 4 months from now. We've already seen the leaked trailer. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I know it's out there and other people have seen it. So just drop it online already. Please. I'm so desperate to see more Daredevil. That's all I need right now to complete me. Okay, but you know what? This video is going to end up being like 30 minutes long, so I think I'm going to go ahead and end things there so I can start editing this. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed what I had to say, feel free to give the video a like and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Which of these 3 projects are you most looking forward to? I would love to hear what everyone has to say and continue the conversation down below. And if you want to see another video like this, you can click right over here. If you don't do it, they just won't ever release the Born Again trailer, so please subscribe and let us have it. We are all counting on you. I'm counting on you. I need this.